Hello and welcome to the 6th episode in our MCA mini-series. In this episode, we take a closer look at the upcoming Liberty Protection safeguards by asking the question, what does necessary and proportionate mean? As explained in our last episode, the Liberty Protection safeguards process is going to involve assessing or determining that the person lacks the relevant capacity, that they have a mental disorder, and that the arrangements amounting to them being deprived of their liberty are both necessary and proportionate. But what do those words actually mean in this context? The first thing to say is don't be scared or bamboozled by these terms. Believe it or not, in practice, I would expect that we regularly ask ourselves whether what we are doing to support a person is both necessary and proportionate. We just don't ordinarily call it that. Let's take a look at each of these terms in turn, starting with necessary. The Oxford Dictionary describes necessary as that it is needed for a purpose or a reason. See? Not too complicated, right? So in the context of liberty protection safeguards, the questions we need to be asking ourselves are: what are the areas presenting a risk of harm to this person? What would happen to the person if we simply did nothing? That in itself will highlight why it's necessary we do something. What has already been tried to manage those risks and how successful was that? What arrangements are in place now to manage the risks? Remember, this is about preventing harm to this person. It's not generic, it's specific to them. And what is your evidence to support all of that? Consider each element of the person's care arrangements in turn, with particular focus on those elements which contribute to them being deprived of their liberty. Quick reminder of the acid test. Is the person under continuous supervision and control and not free to leave? Once we are clear arrangements are necessary, we move on to whether those arrangements are proportionate. Let's take a look at that definition. Proportionate. Increasing or decreasing in size, amount or degree according to changes in something else. When thinking about liberty protection safeguards, we need to evidence that the arrangements in place are proportionate to the likelihood and seriousness of harm to this person. So you've already made it clear that action is necessary. We have to do something. You've already considered how those risks are currently being managed. But are those the most proportionate response? As part of that, you need to be asking, how likely is it that the person will actually experience the harm that you've highlighted? And what would the severity of that harm be? Are the ways those risks are currently being managed the less restrictive when considering other options which have already been tried and discounted? Consider the person's human rights and their wishes and feelings about what is in place. Remember, views are not always given verbally. Essentially, you are highlighting here how the arrangements in place are in line with the level of need and associated risks. This also involves weighing up the cost to the individual. In the words of Sir Munby, what's the point of making people safe if it merely makes them miserable? Do the benefits of having these arrangements in place outweigh the cost to this person? And if they don't, can we lawfully continue? Or do we need to consider something else? Hold that thought, more on that particular point in another MCA mini-series episode. It could easily be the case that you identify the care in place for a person as being necessary, but that actually the way in which those needs are being met is not proportionate, that something else should be tried and evidenced first. It is important that we really scrutinise what is in place. Are we being too risk-averse or heavy-handed? Let's try and put all of this into an example. Take Alfie here. Alfie's been identified as lacking the relevant capacity around his care arrangements. It's previously been evidenced that Alfie will set fires if he has access to a lighter or matches. Alfie is not aware of fire safety and is unable to keep himself safe in those situations. It is therefore necessary that Alfie has support in place to manage those risks. The arrangements in place to manage that risk is 15-minute observations when Alfie's in his room on his own, checks of his pockets when he returns to his home to ensure he does not have lighters or matches on his person, weekly bedroom checks, as well as a ban on lighters and matches generally within his home. These arrangements feel as though they are not a proportionate response. This feels too heavy-handed. If it has been satisfied that there are no matches or lighters in the home, or on Alfie's person, why would we then also need to complete 15-minute observations and bedroom checks? Would a smoke detector in Alfie's room be a more proportionate and less restrictive response? It may well be the case that all of Alfie's care arrangements still amount to him being deprived of his liberty, but we are making sure within that it's done in as less restrictive way as possible. We hope this has helped to shed some light on these two terms and show that they are not new concepts in our practice. Start using these terms in your assessments and care plans now. Help to prepare yourself for the implementation of liberty protection safeguards. And remember, we should already be working under these principles as part of our Mental Capacity Act practice. Thank you for listening, guys. See you all next time.